Alright, so hi guys. In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to do another example involving graphing a quadratic function. This time, we are going to do it in intercept form or factored form. So it says graph f of x equals negative the quantity x minus 4 times x minus 2, and then state the x and y intercepts, vertex, and axis of symmetry. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and write down the function. So f of x, and it's equal to negative the quantity x minus 4 times x minus 2. Okay, so here we know that this is of the form, and the form of when we talk about the intercept form, we have a times the quantity x minus p, and let's do it like this actually. A times x minus p times x minus q, where p and q are our intercepts, right? So our x-intercepts would be at p comma 0, p comma 0, and q comma 0. I want to emphasize that that's a q and not a 9, so I really want to make that clear. Alright, so in this particular function, we are given this, right? And so we know that this is going to be of the form negative 1, and we have x minus 4 times x minus 2. So I know that if I look at these two x-intercepts, right off the bat, I know that my x-intercept, when I solve this for 0, or I'm sorry, when I solve x minus 4 times x minus 2 equals 0, I can use the zero product property, x minus 4 equals 0, or x minus 2 equals 0. So then I add 4 to both sides here, I get x equals 4, and then I add 2 to both sides here, and I get x equals 2. If you guys haven't learned that, just know that these are your x-intercepts, okay? It's p comma 0 and q comma 0, so it would be 4 comma 0 and 2 comma 0 in this case. So we're going to label those intercepts right here. So we have 4 comma 0 here and 2 comma 0 right here. So again, 2 comma 0, 4 comma 0, and these are my x-intercepts, right? Okay, now the other thing that I want to emphasize here is to know exactly what my y-intercept is. So again, I'm going to write my function. I have f of x is equal to negative the quantity, and again, it's x minus 4 times x minus 2. So again, find y-intercept. And if you guys remember, and by this point we should remember that the y-intercept is of the form 0 comma y. So in this case, we would say f of 0. We want to make x equal to 0, so we're going to do negative the quantity 0. It's going to be 0 minus 4 times 0 minus 2. So we're going to do negative of the quantity negative 4 times negative 2, which is positive 4 times negative 2, which would be negative 8. So we know that our y-intercept for this function is going to be at 0, negative 8. So we're going to go ahead and plot that in our graph. So it'd be like right here. So this would be considered my y-intercept. And then from here, again, we've already stated our x and y-intercepts. Our x-intercepts are 4, 0, and 2, 0. And our y-intercept is going to be at 0, negative 8. So here's my y-intercept. And again, my x-intercepts are at 4, 0, and 2, 0. So they're right here. just so you guys see where I put them. These are my x-intercepts. Now, to find the axis of symmetry in the vertex, we know that when we are given this form, and again, I'm just going to go ahead and let me copy this, and then I'll paste it. Our axis of symmetry for this problem, we're basically going to grab, it's going to be P, so it's going to be x equals, and we're going to do P plus Q all over 2. And so once we find this, we're going to say that our vertex is P plus Q over 2, so P plus Q over 2, comma, and then let me just finish here. Okay guys, so that's what this would be. So what we have to do here, since we know that our x-intercepts were at 4, 0 and 2, 0, we can simply say that P can be 4, so P is equal to 4 as we stated right here, and Q can be equal to 2. So when we find the axis of symmetry, we can clearly state the following. So we can say, one second, we can say 4, and then plus 2, so plus 2, over 2. So we know that it's going to be x equals, and it's 4 plus 2 over 2, which is 6 over 2, which is equal to 3. So our axis of symmetry is x equals 3. So we know that that is our axis of symmetry, and again, I'm going to go ahead and label it. So it's going to be right here. So let's go ahead and put it in here. We're going to say it's right here at x equals 3. If you think about it, guys, it is really the midpoint between the x-intercepts. So I just want to make that very clear. And again, here's my y-intercept. So then we're going to put AOS x equals, I think it was 3. Yes. Okay. So now we want to find the vertex. What we need to do, since we now have our axis of symmetry, we need to put this in for the function. So we know that f of 3 is 1. That is going to be our vertex 3, 1. So we're going to go ahead and plot it. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and evaluate for x equals 1. Because if you think about it, there has to be a point that is above -8. Above y equals -8, that's between 0 and 2. So if we evaluate f of 1, we're going to get negative the quantity 1 minus 4 times 1 minus 2. This will give me negative the quantity -3 times -1, which is 3 times -1, which is -3. So I know I'm going to have 1 -3 right here. And so now what I can do lastly is I can just reflect the points on the left side. As you can see, I already did my x-intercepts here. The only thing I have to reflect now is the other points. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. And you always want to reflect it about the axis of symmetry, because it splits the parabola in half. And now we're going to do the same thing for -8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be about right here. So now we know that if we draw a smooth curve through these points, and of course this is not drawn to scale, it's a very rough sketch of this. And it's supposed to cross the -8 here. This is how we would graph this function. So again, I'm just gonna state my x and y intercepts. So again, my x-intercepts are going to be, they're going to be at the following points: negative 2 comma 0 and 4 comma 0. And then my y-intercepts are going to be at, I'm sorry, y-intercept, because there's only one y-intercept. It's going to be at 0 comma negative 8 in this case. So it's going to be at 0, negative 8. And then my axis of symmetry, which was in purple, was x equals 3. And so then my vertex is at 3 comma 1. So this is where it would be, and these are all the things that we are asked of in terms of, you know, stating the features or the parts of this quadratic function that we graphed. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. And also, please like, comment, and or subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.